الفن الذي يتحدث عن كرامة الإنسان والقصص التي تنبع من الواقع المحلي. شاركت في مهرجان ترابا هيومن رايت فيلم فيستيفال بفيلمي الوثائقي الطويل أكناو. هذا الفيلم يتناول الذاكرة والهوية من خلال تقاليد القناوة. كذلك يسعدني كوني سأكون ضيفة في بودكاست تحريف Creators Unplugged الذي يتيح للمبدعين.
The Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations, Honorable Shanzin James Bernard, on behalf of the Ministry, wish to inform the general public that from now onward and as part of our ongoing commitment to maintaining a clean and sustainable environment, the Ministry of Waste Management and Resource Innovations frowns at the way citizens of the state don't keep their immediate environment.
Good evening and welcome to a special edition of today's Politics on Sun TV. This is where the headlines are hot, the debates are real, and today the focus is small but mighty, our children. My name is Abraham Maina Joda. It's Children's Day, and while some are out there munching cake and bouncing on trampolines, we are here to talk about the serious side of childhood, because not every child has the luxury to be just a child. And as they say, children are the world's most valuable resource and its best hope for the future. That quote from John F. Kennedy reminds us that investing in children, safety and freedom isn't charity, it's a strategy for the future. And if you think maybe children are just little people with big demands, well, think again. They are citizens with rights and the right to be protected from harm, especially the kind that hides in plain sight. Today, on this show, we'll be having a guest who represents an agency that ensures that those dangers that hide in plain sight are monitored and the children's rights not to be harmed is protected. Our guest today, joining us, is someone on the front line of child protection from the National Agency for the Protection of Trafficking in Person, NAPTIP. They are not just busting trafficking, they are safeguarding childhoods. Please welcome our special guest, Mr. Bako Amos Gambo. Good evening.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank
to
you
Sun TV.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're looking good.
Thank you. I'm so grateful.
Probably maybe I'll ask you, what's the secret of NAPTIP? Maybe I can also look as good as you are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I appreciate the golden opportunity given to me to be on the air, to really speak about NAPTIP.
Okay. So,
thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for being here. And I hope you enjoy a wonderful city of Jalingo.
Yeah.
You're also spreading the message. You are preaching the gospel of come and invest in Taraba. Definitely, I believe so, because you must have seen that this place is open for investment. Thank you very much. You're welcome, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now let us go to the subject matter. Today is Children's Day.
Yeah.
Today is a day where we celebrate our biggest investment, because everything we do, gather wealth, resources, potentials, technology, if there are no kids in the future, to continue this legacy, it goes to waste.
Yeah, sure.
Now, but you work for an agency, the National Agency for the Protection of Trafficking in Person, Prohibition of Trafficking in Person, NAPTIP. So, can you tell our viewers out there, what is NAPTIP all about?
Well, NAPTIP is a national agency for the prohibition of trafficking in person. This is a federal government establishment. It's a federal government agency that came into being 2003, which, as a result of the increasing or the way human trafficking is on the increase globally, and there was need for the global states to really come into agreement to see how they can eradicate human trafficking in the world, and states come into agreement and declare that all states should be able to put their head together to see how they can fight human trafficking. And NAPTIP, Nigeria, in trying to see how they can, eradicate, join hands with the international world to see how they can eradicate human trafficking. A bill was passed and accepted by the President Obasanjo, whom the wife of the former Deputy or Vice President of Nigeria, as Titi Abubakar, that was actually spearheading a particular, NGO, that's concerned really for fighting human trafficking. And, human trafficking wasn't something that, is criminalized or is seen as a crime before. And she was just operating at the level of, non-governmental organization, and at the end of the day, as crime, that human trafficking crime is, increasing and eating deep into our system, especially women and children. Nigerians sought to see how that bill, which was actually in the National Assembly, was passed. And of course, we thank God that today the law was passed and signed into law, and that the law is a national agency, a national agency for provision of an administration act, national agency for provision of an administration and enforcement act. Was established. The act was established and it was signed into law in 2003, and that particular act actually get back to NAPTIP. Yes. So that act get back to NAPTIP, essentially to fight human trafficking. Essentially to fight human trafficking.
Has that act been domesticated in other states? In
other states, in all the states of the Federation, that act has been domesticated. Okay. Yeah, it has been domesticated in all the federal, and we have, all our state commands and zonal commands all over the country, essentially established to fight human trafficking. Yes, so essentially NAPTIP was is the focal agency that was actually established, to see that human trafficking is being put to an end in the country. Yeah.
I would like to say something. Most of the things we do originate from a culture or society, the way society view things. Before we go to international trafficking, let us look at locally. Before now, while we were young, we used to have cases of, I need a maid. Someone will go somewhere, get a maid or two, child of school age, bring them, they work, you feed them. Sometimes, if they have the luxury, they go to school. If they don't, they don't go to school. But they are more or less like, we call them house girls and house boys in those days. Then it was normal in society then.
Absolutely.
It was a normal thing. We had them when we were young. I knew people who had these are maids, or we call houseboys and housegirls, and are just from other parts of the country. They come around, and then again we also have a lot of abuses, but we consider it normal. They will say she's an house girl.
Yeah,
she doesn't deserve any better. She's here to work. They don't go to school. But it seems nowadays that has been frowned at due to activities of NAPTIP. But it is still going on underground. Only thing that it is now not in plain sight like the way it is. How is the agency tackling the issue of child trafficking within disguised under the guise of I'm helping this child to live with me? Where do you draw the line between a maid and
just like I said, NAPTIP was established by law, Trafficking in Persons Prohibition, Enforcement and Administration Act. And that was actually established, came into being. It actually came into being in 2003. And was amended 2015. You understand? And that gives NAPTIP the power, to prosecute and fight human trafficking appropriately or legitimately. You understand? So it's NAPTIP is bound by the law now to fight human trafficking in the country, and that's why, like you asked before, the law has been domesticated in all the states, you understand, to fight human trafficking. So before, that's all these vices were like, normal life. Just like you heard of, before we even talk about children, you heard of these girls, Nigerian girls, are moved traffic to Italy. That time you've been hearing of women in Italy, being repatriated, and you understand. So it was all these things we had at that time were like normal life before the advent of this law that came into being and gave NAPTIP the power to. So NAPTIP is everywhere fighting this crime, and that's why you're hearing, issues, issues concerning children, moved from one place to another. NAPTIP is frowning their faces against all those vices. People that are being trafficked from one place to another, either internally or externally. You see NAPTIP beginning to frown faces because they've been empowered the law to fight human trafficking. And it's a very serious issue. By the time I start telling you, experiences and stories, instances where we have this human trafficking and going on, in this country, you'll be shivering because you might.
Tell us a story.
Honestly,
tell us a story.
It must be on you that one day you could be. You could be trafficked too, because nobody is above the techniques and smartness of traffickers. They know what they're looking for. They want to make their money, so they know what to do.
I've heard cases whereby someone will be done, will be given, said your visa has been gotten for you, but you just have to go to Soso Airport to travel from there. From there, they say, no, I think we should, our airport is under the state. Let's travel through Ghana, sure. Let's travel through Niger. And that's how the journey starts. The journey that was meant to take you to maybe an airport in Niamey takes you to the desert, and you find yourself, and you're a full-grown man.
Of course, full-grown human being.
Full-grown man, educated, knowledgeable. Are you able through a party that finally...
why I said so is because human trafficking is a very delicate thing, and you might be surprised, just like I said, you might be surprised to see, to fall into the trap of traffickers because of the way, the modus of operandi, the way they operate in getting their prey, to exploit. You understand? So when we're talking about human trafficking, we're talking about recruitment. You understand? Recruiting somebody, getting the attention of somebody. A trafficker will want to, get your attention to see if he can take you somewhere, by whatever means, to exploit you and then get his money into his pocket. So it's a lot of things. So, like we're talking about, either me and you can fall into it. There's deception. Yeah? In getting your attention, they'll have to use some manner of deception before they will move you, like transporting you to another person. After getting your attention, they will transport you to another place.
Where you are
vulnerable. Where you, in fact, they'll rely on your vulnerability before they actually approach you. They know that you are helpless. You need help. You need, except if they notice that you need help. They cannot just go to somebody who they believe that the person is comfortable, and then they will come and sell or deceive you or sell something to you and give you kind of
false story of life,
false stories, or that life can be better for you out there. Come, I will go and put you in better school in Abuja from Okari here. And they will just, they have their own technique. They have their own way of getting your attention.
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
How do we draw the line? Probably maybe, I live in a city center. Let me give an example. Maybe the parents are working class, and the kids need to go to school, and they are young, and you need a hand, and you need someone. So, how do you differentiate between trafficking and actually getting a help at all? Can I just go to the parents of a child and say, please, I need your child to come live with me and help me
and help you do something
at home? Is that trafficking? Is there any? What is the law about?
It depends. See, it depends on, first of all, the age of the child you are talking about. And that's exactly how traffickers goes to parents to perpetrate their evil. They know that you as a parent, you need help. You need to train your children in the school. So they will now rely on that vulnerability and then come to you as if they are actually, trying to help you out. You understand? They're as if they're trying to help you out. And you will release your child to them. Unfortunately, what's happened to your child where they were taken there, it all depends with what is at the mercy of God. So it's a serious matter. So when you're drawing the line on that, whether it is legitimate or it is they want to really exploit you as a parent, you understand, through your child, it's the age of the child.
Okay, what age?
Like, a child by law, it's once a child is below 18.
Okay, a
child is below 18. It's a minor.
Okay.
It's a minor and any child or anybody above 18 is an adult who have the capacity, to choose to decide on what to do and how to live his life. You understand? So at that point, if he gives in, to go and work for somebody, I think he has his own discretion to do that.
Yes.
But a child under the care of a parent, and then, at that age, and then you are going to him to tell him, okay, look, I will need a child to go and work for me but then the father now, I hope they are listening to me. The father now will ask, if it's a relation that comes, to ask for a hand, for help. Maybe, if my child need to go to school, that my child need a better life, my child need to be taken care of, he needs to be protected, he needs to be assisted, he needs to be morally, brought up sound, psychologically, physically, and otherwise. He needs to be strong and a leader of tomorrow. So if you give him those assurance, if you give him the parent the assurance, sometimes, but the parent needs to do some follow-up after everything, the agreement. So but if somebody just come to a parent and start giving him stories of better education, better jobs, better whatever thing, and you release your child to him without monitoring, without going to see the child. You turn your back against the child. I'm sorry for you, because what might come after, that person has turned his back with your child?
Only God knows.
Only God knows. So I think...
now, we've talked about minors, trafficking of minors and the rest of it. Recently, we've seen cases whereby people were taken from Nigeria here, as far as Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah.
We've seen cases of Libya.
Yeah.
And you see that these are just kids. Some were told that they were just taken, they were taken from their parents, they are going to school, they are going to learn a hand trade. So how do you cope? Because once they go out of the borders of Nigeria, how does NAPTIP track these criminals when they take them out of Nigeria?
Yeah. You see, NAPTIP is an agency that, train their officers very well before they are. It's an institution, that knows what knowledge is all about. It knows the importance of having knowledge, about, specific, job that you are assigned to do. So the NAPTIP is with departments. They have about 8 to 9 departments now. We have investigation, the investigation department, investigation and monitoring department. You have the Zen House, that's Counseling and Rehabilitation Center. You have research and public and research and program RPD development, program development. We have what else? We have legal department. We have departments like that, right? Every department is saddled with one responsibility or the other, just to meet up with a target, just to meet up with an objective. The objective here is to be able to identify the victims on the street, to see if you identify the victim, maybe is under very serious circumstances, you rescue the victim. The most important thing is to rescue the victim. Rescue somebody who has been trafficked, who is going through trafficking activity, you understand, or who is on the move, to be trafficked, or, trafficked to another country, like Italy or other places for Libya. Exploitation. Yes. So, and what NAPTIP does is they ensure that they rescue this victim. And NAPTIP provide protection to this victim. All the protection that he needs, to come out of the trauma that he faced during the trafficking process, and all that he needs, to be reintegrated back into the society. NAPTIP does that. It provides all the assistance that you need. It provides legal, backing for the child if he needs a child. Because as if you rescue a victim, it is through the victim you'll be able to identify who the trafficker is, and be able to follow up, to see if that trafficker can be arrested. And justice is a method on the person. So NAPTIP does a lot of things. And I can assure you, NAPTIP is up and doing. And I'm like you've heard before, if you've been following of what NAPTIP is doing, you heard of several stories. If we start telling stories here about what NAPTIP is doing, we will not be able to finish it, because NAPTIP is doing a lot. It's using the resources, budgetary allocations, allocated to it very, very well. Okay. And that is why I am here in Taraba today, to see that we fight this human trafficking. And let me tell you, the story that I just had, in Taraba State, some of the stories of human trafficking that maybe the state does not even know. They don't even know that this thing is happening. And even if they know, then they may not know the magnitude of that crime that is actually happening here. And it's on the increase every day. Young boys, young children, young boys from maybe like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 are being trafficked from the neighboring villages here to just an internal trafficking circumstances to Edo State here.
Yes,
where you heard of this cocoa plantation and the oil producing company down there.
Palm oil.
I'm telling you, one young man that came, I had to be very serious about that matter, and I investigated that matter and released the suspect under very intelligence programming to see if we can retrieve that boy from the village, from the bush, where he's been hidden there to do some farm work.
Yeah, recently, there was a story of some boys from Yoro that had issues and they were killed and they were seriously injured by villagers. They were doing cocoa farming in Edo State.
Some of them don't come back. They'll go to the village and deceive some young men here in Taraba State. Go to the villages and recruit these children.
With so much land to farm here,
that we have. Come. What are you doing in the village here? You need to make money. The farming you're doing here will not give you the kind of cash you need. Come, we'll take you to Edo State. You will do farming. At the end of the day, you will come back home with huge amount of money. Few of them come back home with money to entice others. And then you see them. In fact, they are out there in hundreds. I'm telling you. Few of them. The boy that I was talking about came back so weak. I'm telling you, because he has. I placed him, on a strategic platform to go back there. I released the suspect to go back because I knew I was working with the psychology. Yes. Go back there and bring that boy. If I had not done that, that boy wouldn't have even come back. So he went because he knew what we discussed with him. He went and brought the boy. He said, Oga, I don't bring the boy, come. And the boy was looking honestly so pathetic. He was in a very pathetic circumstances. Thank God when he came with his auntie. And I was just, oh my God. Honestly. So I now release this boy to her, say, take this boy home. He will enjoy the benefits of being at home than us keeping him in the shelter. Because keeping him in the shelter is like you're restricting him his movement. So he may not actually get his body. But I'm telling you, when he was brought back, you need to see how plumpy this guy looked like. Imagine. Honestly speaking. So it's so serious. It's so serious, my brother, honestly speaking.
Thank you.
But, we arrested one of them. It was through the boy now, we now rescued another girl. Oh. That they were trafficked together. So, you see, NAPTIP does a lot of things. We do a lot of things to see that even the victims you don't even know, you can even get them through interview with the current victim that you have on ground. They can lead you to other victims that are trapped other places. You understand? And that helps us too to really get traffickers. Sometimes, like the current circumstances of what do they call it? Media, social media nowadays. The victims, the suspect don't move with the victims. They don't move with the victims. They recruit them before by social media. You will see them moving together. Trafficking. After they recruited them, they will traffic them. They will transport them. Yeah. They will bought a vehicle, put them, and then join them together and they're moving. Depriving them. They will collect. They will warn them never to talk to anybody. Never to say anything. In fact, at times they are vulnerable.
Sometimes we speak, communicate.
They are vulnerable and they know they need help. So that story that the trafficker will give them is absorbed, and before you know it, in fact, some parents decide to pay money for their child to be taken, not knowing, ignorantly, not knowing that their children are going to be exploited at the end of the day, maybe at destination, point. So it's a serious matter. It's a very serious matter. And I pray that the government of Taraba State will look into these issues of human trafficking and see how they can eradicate it.
Well, I believe government officials from Taraba State, they are watching this program.
Yes,
Some TV is a national TV, is watched across Nigeria, and not only in Taraba. Governments of other states too will be monitoring this program, their agencies. And just the stories you talk is pathetic because it is happening right under our noses.
Yeah,
and we don't know. And that is the reason why we have media like this to ensure that we create a platform, because once there's no information, some are going through some things now, they don't know who to meet.
Exactly.
So with NAPTIV, but with this, let us go on a short break. And when we come back, I believe some of our viewers call somebody, tell somebody, they're talking about child trafficking here on Some TV. Let them come and listen to the stories, listen to an agent of the NAPTIV, an official of NAPTIV, tell you what to do. You see something, you say something. So that is what we tell you. So we'll go for a short break. When we come back, today's Politics on Some TV continue, and the discussion is NAPTIV. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, hi, my name is Shailene Msika. I am a Zimbabwean girl, but I grew up in South Africa, and I'm currently at my family home in Zimbabwe in hopes of connecting deeper to my roots. I came back here to do that because I think that's an important thing to do as an artist and in that journey. With that being said, I am a writer and a director, and I'm so excited to be part of the Terror of 2025 podcast in order to talk about my directorial debut, a documentary called Forgotten: The Human Cost of Homelessness. About the documentary focuses on a select group of homeless people in Silverton in Pretoria, but deals with issues that are faced by these homeless people all over the world. The documentary's aim is to foster empathy for the homeless populations of the world. I find that many times, or these days, people have become so desensitized to the issue of homelessness, so much so that they find it very easy to walk by homeless people, forgetting that these are not non-playable characters. They are real people going through real issues, and I wanted their stories to be heard. In the documentary, we have the homeless population, talk about the issues themselves and tell the stories and say exactly what they want to say, so that the people who are watching can hear the stories from the perspective of the homeless people themselves. And hopefully that will be enough to foster that empathy and to make you rethink why people are homeless in reality, because it's not just they don't want to get a job or they're addicted to drugs. The issues that cause homelessness are way deeper than people think these days. In the documentary, we deal with issues such as the way cities are built, specifically South Africa, the way these cities are built that contribute to homelessness. We speak about substance abuse, we speak about family structures, we speak about jobs and payment structures, and how all these things contribute to the homeless populations. And hopefully this documentary will be able to foster that empathy in people, so much so that they find ways, whatever skills they have, whatever abilities they have, whatever money they have, to give to communities and to the homeless populations in their communities or in their countries, on the continent, in the world, to be able to help finally bring an end to homelessness. And if we can't foster that empathy, even in a small group of people with that documentary, then we'll make another one. Because I think that's something that really, really, really we need as humans. Hello, hi, my name is Shailene Msika. I am a Zimbabwean girl, but I grew up in South Africa.
Hello, colleagues. My name is Alexei Burnosenko. I'm from Warsaw, Poland. And yeah, in the industry, in cinema, I mostly play the role of actor, also actor and director in theater. And yeah, here I'm representing on the festival the beautiful documentary called The Forest. And the reason why I
Welcome back to today's Politics on Some TV.
Yeah.
And it is the Children's Day edition. And today we have the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Person, NAPTIP. We are focusing on NAPTIP today. And we have one of the officers of NAPTIP in the studio. We will have a very interesting discussion with him before we went on the break, Mr. Bako Amos Gambo. Mr. Bako Amos Gambo, you're welcome to the studio once again.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for those of us just joining us, the discussion is not NAPTIP. And what is NAPTIP all about? Is about investigating and prosecuting cases of human trafficking, providing support and protection to victims of human trafficking, raising awareness about human trafficking through public enlightenment campaigns, just like the one that we're doing today, and collaborating with local and international organizations to combat human trafficking, providing rehabilitation and counseling services to victims. So NAPTIP play a crucial role in protecting human rights and combating modern-day slavery in Nigeria. And our guests have been telling us some cases happening right under our nose here in Taraba. So, well, before we go to stories that we can relate to, I would like to know, how do NAPTIP collaborate with international agencies to ensure that there's synergy between countries to prevent trafficking?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. Human trafficking itself is a secret thing. It's an activity that involves secrecy, and it's clandestine in nature. That getting information and identifying, for you to be able to identify, an activity of human trafficking could be very, very difficult. So in that point, a strategy was adopted, to prevent, some of these things, prevent and to be able to unravel some certain things that are hidden for us. And one of those strategies that NAPTIP has adopted to be able to get the information that they need concerning human trafficking issues, it's collaboration with the partners, with stakeholders, with non-governmental organizations, with government, establishments, to see how that human trafficking can be eradicated in a country. You see, some of this, in fact, we collaborate also, NAPTIP collaborates with international organizations, and even the law enforcement, in other countries have memorandum of understanding with NAPTIP to see how they can eradicate this crime globally or internationally. Yes, with that, you see, sometimes the collaboration that's involved there is like this training I was trying to talk about, the trainings that law enforcement agencies within Nigeria or officers of NAPTIP needs for them to efficiently fight human trafficking. Collaborations with international community give us the enablement to have this training, They educate us more of, some of those things that we don't know, in terms of fighting human trafficking. Because Human trafficking is advanced in other countries before it even came to Nigeria. And they know, the techniques, to apply in terms of fighting human trafficking. And some of them are ready to partner with Nigeria, in terms of fighting human trafficking. So actually, they do a lot. They do a lot to assist NAPTIP in the fight against human trafficking. The law enforcement agencies in Nigeria and the other states in Nigeria are part of the collaborations too, in terms of fighting human trafficking. Because, like I said, it's a secret thing, and NAPTIP cannot fight this crime alone. NAPTIP cannot be everywhere. So it has to be some kind of collaboration and cooperation with one another to see how we can fight this crime. Just like when in assumption of office as the commander of Taraba State Command, on assumption, in office, what I did was I knew that I cannot handle issues of human trafficking in Taraba State alone. My office cannot do that alone. So I wrote a letter, soliciting for, costly visits from all the stakeholders in the state, including the governor himself and the secretary to the state government. And all of them obliged. They actually accept, and gave me the approval. And I went, visited all of them, including the law enforcement, the army, what do they call them? Sixth Brigade, the DSS, that are very wonderful. The Marshal, National Immigration Service, the Civil Defense, and so many of them. In fact, I have visited almost all of them, and that thing is yielding results. So collaboration is very, very key. It's very, very key in terms of, and then it helps us to be able to, the international community, assist NAPTIP. If there is a case, outside the country, they help in rescuing our victims, our children there in that country, and then, process, their protection, and then their care before they inform NAPTIP here in Nigeria. You understand? And they assist even in the repatriation of these children back to Nigeria. So this thing is key. That collaboration with partners, it's key, honestly. And if I start expressing, what NAPTIP has benefited from international community, it's a wonderful thing. So I give kudos, and I believe that if they are hearing me, let that collaboration stand. Let that collaboration be strengthened, because that is the only way we can terminate and bring human trafficking matter to the barest minimum in this country.
I would like to ask, how has the relationship between NAPTIP and Taraba State government been since you took over?
Since I took over since I took over office here in Taraba State, it has been wonderful. In fact, I must say I am very, very grateful to the government of Dr. Kefas, government of the governor of Taraba State, Dr. Kefas Agbu. He has been so wonderful. Through the Ministry of Women Affairs and the Ministry of Justice, the Attorney General has been so wonderful. The Commissioner of Women Affairs has been so wonderful. He has been so supportive. She has been so supportive. And the Ministry of Social Justice too. It's been so wonderful. The DSS, I will not leave them out because, about how many cases that DSS refers to us. Because there's this thing of referral mechanism, there's synergy between us, that if a case is, such that NAPTIP can handle it appropriately, you refer it to NAPTIP, and NAPTIP will judiciously deal with it,
Now, I know many of our viewers, especially those staying in Jalingo here, in Taraba, will be wondering, where is NAPTIP office if we want to have a case or we want to come ask questions Where is your office located in Jalingo?
Our office, though, is hidden.
Okay.
Now, our office is hidden. And honestly, well, I must thank the government of Taraba State who gave us that place. Though it was in somewhere else before. But eventually, we were moved from where we were to somewhere else so hidden. And I must say that place we are just managing, but it's not palatable. But this is a services of humanitarian services that NAPTIP is providing. That NAPTIP is supposed to be in a friendly environment where people will be friendly, and feel comfortable to even come to interact with us and share issues. Like I said, this human trafficking thing, if people don't share it with people, with strange people. They share it with people they know. You understand? If they have comfort, they are comfortable with. They have trust on, that they will not, this stigma of this thing, this stigma thing, that they always look for somebody they can confide with to discuss these issues with them. Not to talk of when an issue is happening somewhere and where is NAPTIP, and they are finding it very difficult to report the matter. They cannot have access to NAPTIP office easily. And we have put this as maybe a challenge where the state government need to look into. And I believe that with Oga Governor Dr. Kefas,
he may be watching.
I'm sure he's going to do something because he mentioned it. He was going to do it, and I'm sure he's going to do it.
Okay. Sooner
or later. So where we are right now, Ongoing Yelwa. Yelwa Market. Yelwa Market.
Yes.
By the former Primary Education Board.
Okay.
Ongoing Yelwa, former Primary Education Board. Ongoing Yelwa.
Okay. Yes.
Maybe my telephone number, if you might need it.
Yes.
You might need it.
Where they are now is the former Primary
Education Board.
Angwa Yelwa. So NAPTIP office is now for now, and you should also know that he's going to give his number. Maybe you should introduce yourself in your position, and then your phone number. That will be called out, and we also ensure they display the national hotlines.
National hotlines.
Okay. So start with your name.
Okay.
Tell us where the office is again, so they know that they are talking to someone who can really provide help immediately.
Yeah, of course. My name is Bako Amos Gambo, the NAPTIP State Commander in Taraba State. NAPTIP State Commander in Taraba State. My numbers are 080 3678 4019. I repeat, 080 3678 4019. Yes.
Okay.
This is my number.
Okay. Thank you. This is the commander of NAPTIP, the state commander of NAPTIP, and his number, when you want to get to NAPTIP, their office is at Angwan Yelwa, former Primary Education Board. And to contact him, you can call him on 080 3678 4019.
Yes.
So that is the number to get him on. So if you have any case, you want to make inquiries, you can call that number or go visit their office. And we will also display the national hotline, whereby people from across the you call that line, they can always refer you to wherever it is. Well, our time is going, but before we go, I'd like us to tell us a specific case that you've handled or you are handling that can make people understand the gravity of trafficking within Taraba.
Yes. Honestly, it's I must share this particular case that I think it was the second from what I described in the beginning. Away from that one. you know, that has to do with small children
kids,
of 2 years to, I think, 14 years. You know, this thing happened in is it Mani? Lao.
Okay.
This is it
Lao local
Minda.
Okay.
Minda.
Minda.
No Minda in Lao local government. Minda, just this thing happened there. A lady, you know, went to Minda and met another lady in that village and told her that if she could help her, she needs children that she could take care of. You know, when she told me, when I got the message and to that level, I asked her, are you a philanthropist? Are you a philanthropist? How can you just wake up one night and say you want to go, you want somebody to help you recruit children and give you for you to go and help to train educationally or Western education? Let's say, so you actually did this thing? He said, yes, she went. So the lady told her, said, okay, so you need children? And I said, yes. You see, I told you before, I said, traffickers always look for loophole, vulnerability of the children of the victims or the parents of the victims. You always look for something to hold on to, you know, their weakness, where they need so much, you know, to help themselves survive. They are helpless. So she noticed that and she went to that place, Minda, and met this lady. The lady is the daughter of the soil in Minda, and she met her. This lady was from Gembu. Yeah, she from Gembu came and met somebody in Minda here. Taraba down to North, and told her that, look, I need children to assist to train them in Western education. And she now, you know, accepts, you know, the offer and went round and told the parents that, look, give me your children. We can take care of them.
No,
we can. She's personalized because she's part of the whole. She became, you know, so interested. And these people, the parents were now, this woman is saying the same thing with what the other one said. But this one is our own. Why wouldn't we believe her? You see where the problem comes in?
Trust. This
issue of trust is what is happening in NAPTIP. And that's what, you know, the trafficker capitalize on. They capitalize on. And especially when it comes to relationship with the victims. That's why whenever we have a case at hand and we are interviewing or trying to investigate to know whether, you know, the level of involvement of the suspect in the matter, we ask, what's the relationship between you and the victim? And you'll be surprised. Sometimes it baffles me to know that she is my uncle. He is my uncle, or she is my auntie. And that has been the usual story all this while. So what really happened was, this woman now went from house to house and deceived these parents to release their children. And this thing started 2001. It started 2001 until 2005 that I took over. That racket, this thing was broken. And we rescued about 8 out of hundreds that are still trapped in other places now.
Across the country,
as slaves. So they took these girls, these children, that they will go and educate them and provide them with Western education in Gembu. At the end of the day, what really happened was that this lady took these girls and distributed them to other householders. Other householders in Gembu. You understand? Our householders in Gembu. And never told them that these children has their own parents.
Okay.
Yes. He never told them that these children has parents. She went with these children under the guise of adoption. That she adopted these children and is handing over to them, you know, maybe
for a fee?
Yeah, for a fee, of course. Of course, for a fee, because nothing goes for nothing. Because she said, when I was interviewing her, she said that she never collected anything. I said, hey, you are talking to a child, Abi, that you're just doing this in this country, in this Nigeria that we are. You're just doing this kind of thing for nothing. To help.
She has to come as
in fact, what of our own children? Let her help her. Has she finished her own children? Yeah? And she now went and said, so there must be something enticing that will get you involved in this kind of criminality. There must be something. So that financial benefit really enticed her to get herself involved in this thing. You understand? And what happened was that as she released these children to these householders, they changed their names. They take ownership of these children.
They've paid.
They paid.
It's good.
They paid her money. She confessed. I pushed her to even unravel, some of those things. Everything came to the limelight. Because she had to tell the truth. And the truth came out. She told us how much she collected. And on each child, on each person, collected a ransom, for, that is the motivation there. And these people haven't given money, change their original names given to them by their parents. Trash that one and give them different names.
These kids will forget.
And they set off, a kind of a block between the children and the parents. For good since 2000, just 2000 to 2005 now. Well, how many years?
2025.
How many years from 2001 to 2025? Almost 3 to 4 years now.
Okay, 2020.
21 to 24 years.
4 years.
When the parents were, all efforts by the parents not to see their children failed. I'm telling you. Until a particular point, I don't know, when they came to my place, when they came to our office, I said, see, take your time. We are working, but you need to give us intelligence. You need to give us information of the whereabouts of these people. But try and see and ensure that you have an idea of where the whereabouts of the traffic, the people that came and deceived you, and if your children are still alive, where they are, just get some of those intelligence for us. We are working on it. They eventually came back and told me that they went and had a meeting they saw the suspect, and then the suspect having have a tip off that something is happening. And she now gathered these people and told them that, look, these parents are coming to look for their children. And they said, those who actually took these children from her told her that we thought these children had no parents.
They are orphans.
They're orphans. And to the hearing of the parents, and they were like, So they rushed back to NAPTIP. They rushed back to the command, to the state command, NAPTIP State Command, Taraba State. And I was like, is that so? So we strategized. And we went into action and have about 8 of them rescued. We invited when we rescued them, we actually invited the Commissioner of Women Affairs, who has been very, very supportive, to come and do a press briefing, with the parents and the children. So it was a wonderful thing, and seriously, right now, we are working on how to retrieve. Some of them, not only they didn't ended up at Gembu. They took them to the east. Some of them are in the east today, as I'm talking to you. Some of them are in the southwest today, as I'm talking to you. We are still working on it to see how we can retrieve all. In fact, the parents, they kept calling me, how far about our own children that we have not seen? when you're looking for something and somebody has seen his own and you have not seen it, bothers you a lot. So it's a serious matter. So
thank you very much, Mr. Bako Amos Gambo, the commandant of the NAPTIP Taraba State Command. You can see very humble on us. I mean, he didn't even let me know he was a commandant. He didn't introduce himself. It was through the discussions. Thank you very much. And you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, sir.
And I believe people out there are listening. And just like we say, if you want to get to them, their offices at the former primary school education board. And the number at Kaswan Yelwa, that is Yelwa area. And the number is 08036784019. That is his number. You can call him on that number. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
It's really good, and that's why something we love outings like this, whereby this is part of our contributions to society. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And we hope to do more together with NAPTIP to ensure that trafficking comes to an end in Taraba State.
Amen.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, viewers. This is today's Politics on Sun TV, and we'll be having a discussion with the state commandant of NAPTIP, that is the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking Persons in Nigeria, Mr. Bako Amos Gambo, and shed light on what is going on, what the agency is doing, and what they will continue to do to ensure that we have a trafficking-free Taraba and a trafficking-free Nigeria. So that is the special edition for today's Politics Children's Day edition. Thank you for watching. My name is Abraham Minor Joda. Have a wonderful day.